Hello, my name is Don Buck. I live on East Cypress Avenue here in Lompoc. Since moving into this normally quiet neighborhood, it quickly became apparent that this portion of Cypress Avenue was being used as a thoroughfare, a street where your speed was minimally monitored. Our street is wide, visibility is rather unrestricted, and there is sufficient distance between 3rd and 7th to make it possible to speed. Many, too many, doing 50 miles per hour down a street signed at 35. A street where the city engineers, Santa Barbara Sheriff deputies, Lompoc PD say it's legal because the street is wide. This street, like others across town, West Pine, West North Avenue, nearly all of V Street, North A Street, and others, are all traveled at speeds in excess of what you can legally do on the highway that runs through Lompoc on Ocean Avenue and North H Streets. You could do 50 miles an hour on our street, but couldn't do it on the streets 1 block away, East Ocean Avenue, without the likelihood of being cited by any law enforcement officer in the area. I'm a logical man, and this makes no sense. So I began an effort in April of last year to change the situation for us. I prepared and circulated a petition, had it signed by neighbors from 3rd to 7th on East Cypress Avenue. I didn't get as many signatures as I had hoped, largely because I walked the neighborhood during the daytime, and many of our homeowners were out of town working because of the limited opportunities to find higher paying employment in town. I've heard numbers of 6,000 or so Lompoc citizens that leave Lompoc each day to going to jobs in Goleta, Santa Maria, etc. I met with Mayor Bob Lingle, our city manager, city engineering personnel, the Lompoc PD chief of police, and Santa Barbara Sheriff's deputy. One city councilman in particular listened with particular interest. I'm most appreciative of Councilman Jim Mosby. And unfortunately, others just appeared to listen. I've heard it said that the signs were Don's signs. This couldn't be further from the truth. While canvassing our neighborhood and speaking with those homeowners who were home and who signed a petition, to the person, each said the same thing. Too many speeders, too dangerous. Something had to be done about it. In addition to presenting the petition to the city council and speaking with various officials, including 3 that came to our home to see for themselves, I posted our issue on various city Facebook opinion and discussion forums and on my own Facebook page. I received several replies where other citizens made what is a common complaint about our city managers. They refused to listen to the request for improving public safety on public streets in residential neighborhoods. I know this to be true because it took a very determined effort on my part to finally get the signs installed. Please note, since we moved into our house, there have been 2 accidents at our intersection. One crashed into the rear of our son's car, parked on Cypress, right in front of our home, and a second that jumped the curb. I watched him, and crashed into a tree at the corner of our neighbor's home and did not hit the home only because a large cypress bush stopped it less than 3 feet from the house. This could have been a drive-through into a corner bedroom where anybody could have been in that bedroom, from a senior citizen to a child. No telling what kind of damage that accident could have caused. We're very thankful it didn't. It's been a couple of months now since the 2 additional stop signs at the intersection of South 5th and East Cypress were installed, and our primary objective has been met. We are for the most part, satisfied with the results. Our portion of East Cypress Avenue, between South 3rd and 7th Streets, is much safer. The majority of drivers are no longer traveling at 50 miles per hour. For this, we thank Councilman Dirk Starbuck. He made the motion before the City Council to install the signs. Jim Mosby and Victor Vega are also thanked for their support. And Chief of Police Pat Walsh for his department's law enforcement support. It is unfortunate that Mayor Bob Lingle and the newly elected Councilwoman Osborne voted against it. It shows a lack of support for public safety on city streets in residential neighborhoods. Bob Lingle even went so far as to try to block the motion, later stating that he didn't support the installation. Most drivers respect the newly installed stop signs. My neighbors and I truly appreciate that. They saw the change and responded accordingly. But there continue to be exceptions. There always will be. Drivers who either are defiant and intentionally ignore the signs. One has even yelled at me and given me the fickle finger of fate as he passed me. Other drivers simply aren't paying attention to changes on our street, and others who are preoccupied with their media or other devices in spite of laws and heavy penalties to the contrary. I personally know of 2 drivers who have been ticketed. One, a local roofing contractor, and a second who works for Comcast. Personally, we hate to see this happen, but inattention is a poor response to changes on our streets and in our neighborhoods. And change is a constant. As responsible drivers, we must always be vigilant and prepared for it. Lives depend upon our attention and responsible driving. There continue to be a large percentage of drivers who do not come to a complete stop. They do a rolling stop. They too will learn that this is illegal. But until then, believe me, we're still happy. They too are not doing 50 miles an hour or more down our street. They have definitely slowed down to a near stop. And it's harder for them to do 50 miles an hour or faster between 5th and 7th without intending to. Multiple drivers doing rolling stops at this intersection were witnessed by City Councilman Jim Mosby when he stopped by our home several months ago and spent nearly 30 minutes at the corner watching these drivers passing through our intersection without coming to a full stop. Why are these stop signs such a priority? Between South 5th and East Cypress Avenue, there's an apartment complex directly behind our home on South 5th, primarily occupied by seniors with limited or slowed mobility and who are disabled. These seniors and disabled individuals, myself and my neighbor on the opposite corner included, have limited mobility, and we are quite slow as we cross these intersections. Some of our neighbors use walkers. Others use electric scooters. It's hard for us to get out of the way of speeders and rollers. It's dangerous. We have grandchildren, children, and pets who like to play or work in our front yards, but are reluctant to do so. We also have a steady number of people who walk their dogs, children, or push carts collecting bottles and cans of groceries, and a steady stream of bicyclists. Cypress is a busy street. Lompoc City Councilmen have a legal opportunity, and I believe a responsibility, to make a significant change which would improve public safety on other city streets and avenues used as thoroughfares across our city by writing a motion and approving a city ordinance to require city engineers to install stop signs where they are requested by neighborhood residents having similar speed and accident or accident incidents issues. These engineers need to be encouraged to make this motion and approve the ordinance. These councilmen need to be encouraged to make this motion and approve the ordinance. Safety must always be a priority in any situation, and even more so on our neighborhood's streets. No citizen or homeowner should be reluctant to use their own front yard out of fear. In the process of working our 2 stop signs, city engineers told me that there has to be 3 to 4 accidents at the intersection in a 12-month period, and or 350 to 375 autos traveling through the intersection per hour for any 8-hour span of time. We don't live on a highway. I'm sure you don't. And we definitely don't want to see 3 to 4 auto accidents at our intersection before meeting the city engineering's requirements for a stop sign. One accident could be too many. If only one person, man, woman, child, were to die or become permanently disabled during just one accident, what could happen during 3 to 4 accidents? People should not have to die or be crippled for life just to justify a sign that cost the city less than a few $100s. If you need stop signs installed at your intersection, good luck. It'll be an uphill battle, but one where the ice has been broken. To assist you in your efforts, should you need help with your effort, please feel free to contact me. And thank you for listening.